All right, I'll get in here.
Hi guys, it's co-founder Terri Hirning, and I am here with Brian Richards, and we are at the SaunaSpace booth here at IMMH 2019. And we have some really exciting things to share. I know you guys, if you're following along on the Real Food Mom page and on the blog, you've seen me in my SaunaSpace sauna, the Faraday. You have heard my own personal testimonials on what I'm feeling in my body, what we're seeing in practice with this. And I was super excited to see Brian this weekend because he has some new things to share. So Brian, first off, thanks for doing a live with me. Usually we are not in the same space at the same time.
Yeah,
so
of course.
This is
My
so
pleasure.
cool. So let's talk about, what do you have that's new?
The biggest, well, we came out with our more lower price Faraday this year, which is what you're enjoying.
Yes.
Which is really cool. So we came out with our own custom-made stainless steel micro mesh fabric, which you can see displayed here. If you point the camera over there, we have the outer cover of the Faraday sauna removed, so you can see this stainless steel liner system. So we've developed this. It's third-party tested up to 40 gigahertz 5G frequencies.
So
and
guys,
it's that's what shields the person from cell phone signal and voltage from coming inside the sauna.
and so when we talk about this rollout with 5G especially, and when we talk about susceptible people who, we're all susceptible to EMF, but especially symptomatic, there are some individuals who are more sensitive to EMF. So when I talk about being in this sauna and the reduced EMF exposure, that's what we're talking about. And so that's the layer inside the sauna that I have personally. But then we have some other cool
and so
stuff.
let's show that real quick.
Okay.
So what does that mean? And we can show that. So this is a body voltage meter. It measures sources of electric fields, and we can see where they come from. For example, on an unshielded power cord right here, we see you can read that. It's got a lot of voltage coming off that. It's just a regular power cord. But what's really cool about this is a body voltage meter. So I can measure my own body's voltage. So this is measuring the EMF influence on my body from all this EMF around us, all this electric field. So here I'm 290, 300 volts per meter. I'm going to go ahead and step closer and closer to this power cord. See what happens? See how it's going up? And now I'm actually stepping on the power cord itself. And I've basically maxed out my meter. So this is showing you that the increased proximity to the unshielded wiring increases the voltage influence on our body. And that's a stressful influence that we don't want that at all, but we certainly don't want that in the sauna. So watch what happens when I go inside the Faraday sauna. And it just immediately goes to zero. And if I start going outside, it starts coming back immediately. So we apply that also to the product itself, which let's come here and look at that real quick. So anything that's electrical has voltage coming off it. The unshielded power cord I just showed you.
Right. Which we have these all over our houses. Every single one of us, we are affected by this.
Anything that has electricity has this concern.
Right.
So with our product, the lights in the sauna and our portable Photon product, they both use the same principles. We have a grounded Faraday cage surrounding the bulb that lets the light and heat out for all the goodness it provides, but doesn't let any of that voltage get out, which is actually inside. You can measure it inside, but none of it is on the outside at all, and none of it is on this because it's all shielded and it's a shielded power cord. So we're making sure that we can use this up close and personal for human use and not have any concerns with any EMFs coming out of it.
And so let's talk about, you have two light bulbs here, and I am very familiar with this version of the bulb because that is what is in my sauna currently, okay? But you have something new, and these are great. I just want to talk a little bit about it because we are going to be bringing these in for our retreat that is coming up. We want to provide people with lots of options of how to provide great benefit of their wellness, and these units can be sat on your desk, right? Did I hear you say you have one on your desk and use?
Yeah, so I'll tell you about what this is real quick, and then I'll tell you about the special bulb that's inside of it.
Perfect.
So, that we use in the sauna as well.
Yep.
So this is first and foremost a spot therapy product.
Yep.
It's used for localized symptom relief.
Okay.
Really anything you can think of, any part of the body. use it up close and personal for 10 or 20 minutes,
Well,
per
what did
hour.
I do this morning, Brian? I
Right.
ran over, I started to have some symptoms from this moldy hotel, and I came and sat with my face up against this bulb for just a few minutes and got significant relief. And that was one of the big things for me, is because I get triggered with migraines. And this product really helps me stop them in their tracks. So I absolutely have used those for those purposes. It's really great.
So it's a daily. It can be used for spot therapy daily, but it also is used all day long for indoor environmental therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So red and infrared are the antidote to all this yucky blue light that we have from LEDs and fluorescence. And this is also a non-flickering light source. So that has an effect of canceling out the stressful effect of flickering light on our body, which is associated with migraines and anxiety, and it's part of the toxic computer, indoor work environment. So I can use this for spot therapy, on my gut, on my knee or something, but then I can also just have it on my desk, not pointing at me directly, just in my vicinity. It tilts up like this. It can also go on its back, and it's just next to me all day long in close proximity, and it's making my indoor environment more natural and less artificial. So, this is actually one really easy, powerful way that you actually can change your environment around you. This is more than just a behavioral change. In just a simple passive way of having this next to you, you make that indoor environment more natural. And that translates to it being more enjoyable and less stressful.
Well, and when we talk about therapies and bringing one more thing on or doing one more thing, this is really a no-brainer because there's nothing you have to do other than literally turn it on. We're not asking you to take 20 minutes and meditate or go run around the block. It is really a passive therapy that is providing a great deal of benefit in today's technological, EMF, Wi-Fi, dialed-in world, right? And we all need to be brought back to kind of that homeostasis of less of those technologies and the impact on our physical.
Right, we want to, as much as possible, we want to modify our modern environment to make it a little bit more like it was 1,000 years ago. And so a really simple way to think about this is an electric bonfire. This is really optimal nighttime lighting. So after dark, turn off your overhead lights, turn on your Photon, and have a blue light free, non-flickering light source that is enjoyable to converse and hang out with. And is the way ancestral humans lived. After dark, we did have light, but it was only the light of the bonfire. It was not any blue light at all.
Right.
Or almost none. So,
right.
So that's kind of the product, and that's how it's used. But what's really cool is that's the other big innovation for this year. This is kind of my baby right here. I've been working on all of this stuff. I've been working on this for over 3 years now. So this came out in July. This is the SaunaSpace thermal light bulb. So I've innovated I've taken the incandescent heat lamp that's used for this therapy that's really a 90-year-old technology, and I've redesigned it to be more optimal for human therapeutic use. So the coolest thing about it, beyond some durability improvements and some design improvements, is the filament itself inside that produces the light and heat therapy is redesigned to run hotter, so it emits a higher percentage of these light therapy near-infrared wavelengths, and it also is hotter, so it's emitting more near-infrared that heats the body.
Right.
The water-absorbing hyperthermic near-infrared. So you can feel it with your hands here. The new thermal light bulb is hotter, but you can also measure it. So let's see if we can get this on camera real quick. So this is an irradiance meter. This is this measures red and near-infrared radiance in watts per meter squared. So it's measuring the power level of light therapy. Okay. And it's kind of a back-of-the-hand calculation, but it gives us a general sense, like, what is the relative light therapy I'm getting from the standard bulb here? I have, at this distance, I have about 120 or 100 watts per meter squared. And from the thermal light, I have over, almost twice that. And you can just see that, apples to apples. It's clearly emitting a lot more near infrared.
And so let's talk about that for a minute, because when you and I were talking, on Thursday, we've been trying to do this Facebook Live since Thursday, and this conference has just been really crazy, which is amazing. But we talked about, especially in the subset of population like the autism community. Okay, so we're dealing a lot with children, getting effective therapies that are short, quick, things that are effective in the least amount of time. This new technology really boosts also the sweating response, correct? So we're getting the more intense heat faster. But I want to make a distinction here, because for many of you that have followed us and our journey, we had a FAR IR sauna at home. And it was really challenging to even get to the sweating response. And when we switched over to the SaunaSpace, I felt a dramatic difference. And a piece of that is also going to be, I think, optimized with this new bulb, because you're also going to be able to get to that sweating response a little bit faster, which for families with children, where you're trying to maximize what you can do that's going to benefit the body.
We want to be time.
We want to be quick.
We
yes.
want to be so quick, and we don't have time for things. So, yeah, this is. It's good to think about it this way. This is an infrared sauna plus near-infrared light therapy layered on top.
Yep.
So that has its own benefits that we can talk about in another chat. But it also using the higher energy near-infrared wavelengths is a more efficient way to heat the body.
Yes.
It's called radiant heating. So we heat the body by the wavelengths of by the near-infrared photons themselves penetrating 3 or 4 inches in the body on average. So it does make you sweat faster because it heats you up more efficiently than a regular infrared sauna, which is relying on far infrared wavelengths. So that's all incandescent saunas. The whole incandescent sauna concept will do that. But even comparing the old SaunaSpace light bulb, the regular heat lamp, to the new thermal light bulb that we have here, my SaunaSpace sauna sessions have gone from 35 minutes to 20. So that's almost half the time that I'm doing. I'm getting the same. I'm starting to sweat 9 minutes or 10 minutes, and I get 10 minutes of sweating. So at the 20-minute mark, I'm done.
Right.
I'm not preheating anymore at all. And that, just that increased efficiencies makes it easier for me to use more consistently, right?
Totally. And anyone who's joining us, Lisa, Jennifer, Mary, Lori, hi everyone. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat and we will attempt to answer them. And if you are watching this after the live, go ahead and still put a comment in, and Brian and I will circle back and try and answer as many of these questions as possible. And we'll be doing some additional videos on the benefits and really what we're seeing and what Brian's research continues to show and his use in a lot of different communities. So let's talk about what applications are you seeing in terms of bringing these. We talked about the desk. Where else do your clients tend to use the Photon bulbs?
So yes, first and foremost, people use it at their office desk or near their office cubicle or where they're working, kind of all day long during the day. When they get home, though, you can also have the Photon just on the end table in your living room.
Okay.
So once the sun sets, we don't want any more blue light stimulus. That affects our circadian rhythm and messes up our sleep, and that has to do with ancestrally, blue light came from sunlight, and after sunset, there's biological responses that get us ready to sleep. But blue light disrupts all that.
Yeah.
So all of these LEDs and fluorescent lights and our phones and stuff are emitting blue light that we're not supposed to get after dark.
Well, and you and I talked, whenever I come out of the sauna, which is this one here, and I'm doing my session, and I put my face right up to those bulbs. I mean, I'm not having my eyes open, because that's what was one of the questions was, do you need to wear goggles to protect your eyes? I actually don't wear goggles. I just close my eyes and I put my face near those bulbs, and then I come out and man, I see that blue light. It is a dramatic difference. It's like you don't see it when you're exposed to it all day long, but when you do really shut down all of that blue light and give your body some of this incandescent goodness, then you really notice a difference. Now, Lori is asking, what these Photon bulbs, and Lori, I'm assuming you're asking about the new Photon. What is that going to cost people? What will they pay?
Great question. So the Thermalite bulb, which is the
Yep.
special SaunaSpace bulb,
Yep.
now comes standard with all the SaunaSpace products
Okay.
at no additional cost.
Okay.
So if you buy a Photon product or a SaunaSpace
Yep.
sauna, after July 1st of this year, you're getting that you're getting the Thermalite technology included at no additional cost.
So you've pretty much switched over to this new bulb for everything.
Yeah, it's actually a mouth blown hand rolled bulb, so it's actually a handmade light bulb, which makes it expensive to make. That's part of the other aspects of why it's really nice. So it's not just red dye machine blown glass. This is actually red stained hard glass, so it's really hard to make this type of glass, but it makes the color. You notice there's blue light coming out of the back.
Yep,
of the standard
absolutely.
bulb.
So I don't know if we see that on camera,
You
but
kind of see it.
you definitely see. Yep.
And the color of it is kind of a little more bland, orangey.
Sure.
This is intentionally a very deep, dark red, so there is no blue light escaping from the back, and the color, the particular color of it, is optimized. So
Okay.
it's just more of this like ruby red glow inside, and
Yep.
you can see that inside the sauna
So,
really dramatically.
Are these the new bulbs in here?
Yeah, these are all the new
Okay.
bulbs in here.
I'm gonna go in.
And the camera really just doesn't do it justice.
I know, because I've done even lives in the sauna, and it really doesn't. It's so beautiful.
But it's very red, and it has just a real soothing kind of color to it. And it's also hard glass, so tempered glass for durability, red stained glass for the beauty of it and the aesthetic of it, and then most importantly the redesigned filament that emits more near infrared and more
Okay.
heat. So yeah, we're using that in here. That's standard with all the bulbs. They are the new Thermalite bulb on its own is $89 retail, but we offer a permanent lifetime discount to anyone who has our SaunaSpace products.
So
And it does last a long time too. It lasts about 5,000 hours, so you'll get many years of use, and the only thing will ever eventually have to be replaced is the bulb.
So the bulb itself is $89. How much would one of the Photon units be if somebody wanted to have this at their desk or whatever?
So the Photon is $349.
Okay,
And you can see
$349.
that on the
Yep.
website,
Yep.
and that comes with free shipping in the U.S.
Okay.
and 100-day trial. So
Let's talk about that, because in our community, in any wellness community, you see a lot of stuff come and go, right? But the ones that really stand out to me are the companies that do this, where you are able to bring it into your home, see what the physical benefit is, and if it's not working for you, to be able to send it back and get a refund. And so I really wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, because your company is one of the few out there that do offer money back guarantees, and yours is 100 days.
yeah, I frankly I don't want you to have it if you're not completely satisfied with it. That's the way I like to buy products, and we all like to try out stuff. And the thing about this therapy is, natural therapy, it takes a little more time. It takes a little more discipline. There is no magic pill concept to the natural healing approach. But with the sauna, you usually start to feel it pretty quickly. Like, yeah, this is great. This is affecting my health. I really love this thing. But for some people, particularly if they have chronic, some serious chronic illness or infirmities that force them to really titrate up and start slowly with the sauna, they may need a month or more to really appreciate the benefits. So I just say, well, hey, let's just give them 3 months. And if you really don't like it, as long as you take care of it during the trial, it's a free return pickup and it's a full refund once it comes back to us. And that guarantee, there's obviously some people who take advantage of that, but by and large, it's I think an assurance that people really crave, and especially since we're very different. Our technology is different, our design, our aesthetic, just everything we're doing is so different that you really need to try it out at home, see it in person, and have that peace of mind. You can return it if you need to.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think we've
hit a lot of the stuff. The one thing I wanted to return to answer, because you did mention it, and it is a common question, is eye exposure.
Yes.
So what we're doing here at SaunaSpace is more of a naturalistic approach to light therapy. These are low power levels of near-infrared light therapy. They're very closely matching the low power levels from sunlight. So I'm gonna see if I can say this right. So at the equator, at noontime, on a cloudless day, on average, at midday, at noon, you get between 20 and 60 milliwatts per centimeter squared of near-infrared light. So there's a certain power level there. And where you're sitting right now, Terry, in the sauna with the thermal lights on you, you get about 50 milliwatts per centimeter squared. So you're like right there in the middle of your ancestral near-infrared dose. You don't get, in contrast, you have LED light therapy products, which are great, but they're in some ways more limited in use because they're very high powered. So you use those for short duration at a very, very close proximity. In this,
yes,
you're doing a little bit farther away, lower powered, longer duration, and you're layering on top of the sauna and the heat therapy. So there's clearly benefits to both therapies that are well understood. Sauna is amazing for so many things.
Especially
Light therapy,
toxicity, yes.
Especially toxicity, but also the more you use sauna, the more you reduce all-cause mortality, which
yes.
is good for all things.
Yes.
But the light therapy also has really unique benefits to anti-aging effects,
yes.
from TBI and neuropathy reduction and things like that. That, wow, if you can layer that on top, which is exactly what we're doing at SaunaSpace, we think there's a synergy between the two. It's making the detox work better,
right,
and be a little less stressful, and be a little more effective.
Well, because I feel like I'm getting a better physical benefit, if this makes any kind of sense, than with our previous version sauna. And I'm not as hot and uncomfortable while I'm doing it. I'm getting just as good of a sweating response.
The light therapy is very soothing.
Yes.
Just like you sit in front of the fireplace.
Yes.
It's literally stimulating a cellular healing response. And that just feels good.
It does.
So all that to say that with these low power levels and the fact that we rotate in here and the way we use the sauna is such that we don't recommend eye protection at all. I personally think that eye exposure is good. You have mitochondria in your ocular tissue. You have other benefits of near-infrared light, like increasing the efficiency of water nutrient delivery. It's not contraindicated for eye exposure, but if you have extreme light sensitivity,
sure,
some people do, or they're really sensitive to sunlight, you can wear any kind of sleep mask or cloth to protect yourself. But practically speaking, almost none of our customers are doing that. And I and many other customers have been using this for years and years and years. And in fact, we do have anecdotal reports of actually some improvement in eye-related issues that you can read about. The Healthy Home Economist online, she talks about how her floaters, the incidence of her floaters were reduced. There are near-infrared light studies on improving the retinal health and reducing diabetic retinopathy. There's definitely there's research that indicates that, there's a lot of benefit here.
Yeah, and I have some stuff I'll share with you later on that. Lori also asked, can you buy the bulb like the display on wood? Absolutely. So Lori, that is the Photon product. So when Brian talks about the Photon, that's it, and it comes on that wood mount. Is that correct?
Yeah, it has a detached wood base that it sits on.
Okay.
And let's show that real quick for
and
the
that
audience.
He was saying is $349, Lori. So
that's
it.
That's this Photon light.
Yep.
With the purpose-designed fixture that's safe for you, so you don't burn yourself. No EMF coming out of it.
Because you're touching that cage.
Yeah, I'm touching the front of it.
Barely warm.
That bulb will burn you if you touch it.
Right.
So you don't want to touch that.
Sure. But the cage is nice and safe, right?
Yeah, it's nice and safe. Plus, there's some other cool design things. So you can just use it like this, standing up.
Yep.
It also can tilt at a 45.
Okay.
And it can do that really on any surface. It can do that, without the base as well.
Yep.
The base is nice for folks who have synthetic desks and they don't want to heat up like the plastic desk.
The particle board
but you
wood.
can also have it on its back. And for the prosumer, I don't have a display here, but on the website you can buy a customized monitor arm that this mounts onto with a quick connect system, and it clamps to your desk, and it makes it in the air, so it's super convenient to use at the desk. And that's actually how I work, is I have it using the monitor arm. So different kind of design elements to just make it more convenient to use.
So
and that's what the Photon is right there.
let's, okay, so Lori, you don't need 4. So you need the one for the photobiomodulation effects, right? So when we talk about the benefits of SaunaSpace technology, we're really talking about 2 different concepts, right? Photobiomodulation and then stimulating the sweating response, which ties into the detoxification. So are you going to sweat sitting here with one of these pointed at you at your desk? Probably not. So
No,
that's where you bring in the 4 bulbs and you have the enclosed tent space.
You need the 4 bulbs in the enclosed space
Yep.
to make sure the air doesn't cool you down.
Yes.
So you sweat. So the sauna is the sauna. And
Yes.
That's the full body therapy with the sweating that has all the benefits of sauna. This is for the targeted relief and also for the environmental therapy.
Okay.
But you do have a little bit of heat therapy here too. And heat, even without sweating, there's 2 things in sauna. When we talk about sauna, the sweating is a response of the body to the cells being heated up and being heat stressed. And it's that heat stress in the cell that's doing the cell detox. Heat shock protein expression helps the cell detox. And then the toxins go out of the cell into the different organs, elimination,
Right.
and then hopefully you're sweating in the
Sure.
sauna. So
You're
you have this
getting
profound elimination that goes on. But even with this, you'll get some localized heat therapy benefits. So another example of heat therapy benefit is when you heat shock the nerves, you get increased BDNF production, brain-derived neurotropic factor, which has improved cognitive functioning effects when you do sauna consistently.
So let's talk about that because that is a big topic. And for those who are following New Beginnings, they have a whole product line that really helps support memory and cognition, supporting BDNF, right? So we can do that in a number of ways, but I want to talk about how heat therapy plays a role. So BDNF, when you hear that, many of you might associate that with research on Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, some of those neurological conditions. So when we talk about BDNF, we're really talking about brain support and optimizing cognition and memory and all of those different things. So when we talk about adjunct therapies,
one guy told me he was calling it Miracle Grow for the brain. It's an essential protein that you need a lot of in the nerves and the nerve tissue.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting that you can just heat up the nerves.
Yes, and have them produce
and
it.
It starts producing its own. There's different ways that you could also do that, but
sure.
This is just kind of another added benefit on top of just sitting here and doing all these other things that the saunas do.
Right, so we think we're just, chilling out and relaxing and, feeling really good, but we're really stimulating a lot of these underlying mechanisms in the body that are optimizing our brain, optimizing our...
Let's talk about that too at the end here really quick. So people think that sauna is for cleansing, it's for detox. Yeah. That's half of it. The heat shock proteins in the sauna is also in the heat shock proteins refold misfolded proteins. So proteins are the little line workers in your body. They're they're the cell receptors, and every part of the body has these proteins. 20 or 30% of the proteins of the body are misfolded on average in an average person. And if you've ever seen a protein model, it's like this big thing of tissue paper and ribbons with all these different folds on it. And those are supposed to fit, lock, and key into each other to do basic cellular and basic system signaling in the body. If those folds are wrong, even just one fold wrong, it may not signal right. And so, for example, insulin resistance. The insulin comes to the cell and it can't bind well to that insulin receptor protein. So the heat shock protein that is made when you heat up the cell is made by the cell in the nucleus, and then it goes out of the cell and it refolds the insulin receptor protein such that we have research that sauna therapy reduces insulin resistance. And so I'm just giving that as an example of, hey, there are profound rebuilding systemic effects here that are much more than just cleansing.
Yes.
You're cleansing and you're rebuilding at the same time.
Yep. Lori has another question. Okay, so Lori, we're going to post the SaunaSpace site, and they have all of the information on there. And then Lori asks, kids can't open that, I would hope, the cage part. So can you just quickly address how hard it would be for a child to pop that open?
This is hot to the touch,
Yeah.
but it's not burn hot.
Right.
It takes a little bit of leverage to open this door. So obviously, when you're talking about use with minors,
Yep.
they need to be supervised.
Right.
In really many things. I also have children. It's a constant issue, but we've designed it as safe as we possibly can. And so, yeah, this grill, this is really unique to SaunaSpace technology. You can't get your fingers in here. So there's no accidental, touching of the bowl.
Great.
At all. And same thing with the sauna. The sauna is actually big enough that you can have 2 stools in here, so I can be in here and I can have someone next to me and I can supervise them. With all these things, of course, you need to consult your healthcare provider
Yep.
and the use of a sauna and their recommendations and get their permission. But we do have people doing that under supervision. I personally take my own son in there for 5 or 10 minutes at a time. He's 7 years old. Kids do need this too. We just need to do so, carefully and safely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to flip this around. I feel like you and I could probably talk all day long. Thank you so much for taking the time. If there are any other questions, we'll address them. We'll circle back. But everybody, I encourage you to go to the SaunaSpace website, learn more about this technology, keep following Real Food Mom. We're going to be sharing our continued look into this product, and have a great day.
Thanks, Terry.